Where else can you find a major metropolitan area with professional sports, world-class arts and culture, and an amazing food scene, and still be able to buy a nice home in a good neighborhood for under $300,000? It's one of the main reasons we're seeing so many of you choose to move here in 2025. Now, before I head into the major cons, such as these tax increases that I've mentioned and a lot of you have commented about, let's talk about the city's infrastructure and development. Now, I've got to tell you, having lived in Denver and traveled to places like LA and Chicago, one of the things that I really appreciate most about Kansas City is how manageable it is to get around. Now, I know what you're thinking, Kyle. I see all this construction everywhere, especially with the streetcar extension, and you're right. We do have a lot of development happening right now and in 2025 and beyond. But here's the thing, even with all the construction and growth, your average commute time is still only about 22 minutes. Compare that to places like LA, where you might spend 2 hours or more just trying to get to work. That's unreal. Now, one thing that really gets me excited, and I actually talk about it a lot on this channel, is all of the development happening across the metro. We just opened our new airport in 2023, which was the catalyst to more investment here in KC. Think about it. We would have never hosted the draft, and we would not be hosting the World Cup had we not opened that new airport. Then we're seeing a huge transformation downtown with projects like the South Loop Park over the downtown loop that will be an absolute game changer for the business district and the crossroads. The streetcar extension opens this year and will connect downtown all the way to UMKC and the Country Club Plaza. For a city with very little public transportation, that is a huge deal. Yes, construction is a pain right now, but the end result is going to be worth it. One thing I especially want to highlight is our healthcare infrastructure. Children's Mercy Hospital is absolutely world class. We're talking about one of the top pediatric hospitals in the country right here in Kansas City. And it's not just Children's Mercy. We've also got KP Med Center, St. Luke's, and several other major healthcare systems that give us really solid medical infrastructure across the metro. Another really cool thing about Kansas City's infrastructure is how it supports this mix of urban and suburban life. You can live in a suburb like Overland Park or Liberty and still be downtown in 20 to 25 minutes. Try doing that in LA or Houston. And let me tell you about something that often gets overlooked: our internet infrastructure. Kansas City was one of the first cities to get Google Fiber, and that pushed all our internet providers to step up their game. Now we've got really solid high-speed internet options across most of the metro, which is huge for people like you who are working from home or running online businesses. Kansas City is investing heavily in infrastructure improvements right now. We're seeing new developments popping up all over the metro, from an $800 million revitalization of the riverfront to massive projects in places like Lenexa and Lee Summit. Oh, and did I mention the World Cup in 2026? And that's pushing a lot of these improvements forward. They're expanding highways, building new interchanges, and really planning for future growth. It's an exciting time to live here. However, there have been people who have commented about how the development is making things more expensive and how there is no public transportation and how everything's so out. So let's discuss some of the cons that make people want to leave. Oh, and real quick, before I go over the cons of living here, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. I can guarantee you that watching our videos will save you a ton of time on research if you're considering moving here or just want to stay up to date with all that's happening around KC. And it also helps us get the word out to more people. So we've covered some of the really great things about Kansas City, but let's get real for a minute. It's not all butterflies and rainbows. Many of you haven't held back in the comments, and there are some things that downright suck about living. Now, one con that we've already highlighted a couple of times, it's been a huge topic of conversation lately, is the property taxes and hidden costs here in Kansas City. Look, I still maintain that Kansas City is more affordable than a lot of major cities. I mean, I moved back here from Denver, where the median home price is pushing $600,000. But there are some financial challenges that you need to be aware of, and the biggest one right now is the property taxes. Personally, my own property taxes jumped 120% in just 2 years, and I'm not alone. This is happening all across Jackson County. The county was even ordered to roll back 2023 assessments last year, but that order ultimately was dismissed by the courts. Property taxes went up by an average of 30% across the board in Jackson County. It's left many people wondering if they can still afford their home, and it's not good. So the point is this: when you're looking to purchase a home, make sure you factor